Well, after all of that we went through, it's time to carry on with Operation 005B. So, getting past this first thing of spikes isn't that difficult. I mean, basically all you ever need to think of doing is use a bomb, and you will get over just fine. Basically, bombs all you really need to use throughout this particular section of this level, because spikes don't come up when you've slowed down time. Makes sense. Now, this bit's a little bit weird. So, obviously you can't carry that thing across because it's too heavy to just kind of have your wonderful one just laying down and just kind of dangling with it. So what you've got to do is you've got to throw it into that middle bit there. I mean, the thing is the game will tell you that you can do this, so it shouldn't be a surprise to you at all. However, you've got to throw it again to get it over, which is easier said than done, because you've got to drop at the right moment. Also, it's very, very easy to accidentally, if you don't make sure you go and grab the thing to get to this section without it. Don't worry, it will wait for you, but still. Oh, that was smart of you, Mr. Suridura. How very intelligent. Teleport into the lava. Bravo. Just bravo. Now, I believe it's kind of around this time that I'm going to start to get a little fancy with me juggles, because it's always so much fun to do. I mean, I probably get more joy out of the Bayonetta combat system, but this does a pretty damn satisfying job when you are kind of juggling the hell out of an enemy. And also getting pure platinums, that just is a great feeling. Now, I don't think I've actually spoken too much on the difficulty of the game. I should probably point out now that the Wonderful 101 is certainly not easy. The best way I can describe its difficulty is that if you take any other game's hard mode, that is normal for Wonderful 101, which kind of makes then the kind of slightly cutie art style a little bit misleading, but it really isn't, because, I mean, you've got the age rating on the box, which does say kind of 12 plus, so you should realise that things aren't quite as they seem, even if you may think they are. However, kind of having said that, normal isn't quite as difficult as a lot of people tend to make out. Like, I think quite a lot of people had more trouble with the Wonderful 101 than is really necessary. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not impossible, and in fact it's very, very forgiving in quite a lot of ways. Most notably that if you die, and the game literally respawns you at the nearest kind of location, enemies generally have lost the health that they had, that you had attacked them with, and really it just doesn't kind of penalise you other than in your ranking. And if you're really struggling that much with the game, going after a high ranking is really not going to do you much good. You should just really focus on the story, because that is one of the bigger draws of the game. Also, I absolutely hate this flaming thing with a passion. Because it really doesn't stay still long enough. Like, the first two will wait for you, almost. This blighter? No. He will slide straight into you and try and murder you very horribly. Now, having done that, we can recruit this stone golem, and you're going to want to do that. I mean, you don't quite have to do it right now, and to be perfectly honest, it's maybe not quite prudent to do so, because there's a Kaku Rhaegar that you can unlock, but if you go too far kind of down the corridor, then you are going to be thrown straight into the next mission without being able to get it. Also, we have Wonder Voodoo there, who is a voodoo doll, which is slightly worrying. And by slightly worrying, I mean really slightly worrying, because if I recall correctly in his in the biography, it basically states that he was a human and he ended up turning into a voodoo doll. Yeah, so some of the wonderful ones have very dark backstories. Like, very, very dark. It's like, think of some of like the really dark backstories for Pokemon. And it's that. I'm trying to think of examples, like Bayonet is a lost child's toy. And constantly searches for its former owner. And then Cofagrigus kind of eats men's souls. Yamask is a dead person, because the face is the mask is their face from when they were alive. And really, really terrifying things like that. Now, this particular Kaku Rhaegar pretty much requires you to make use of the items that are hidden around. If you don't have the treasure sensor on you, this becomes a lot more of a pain than you would hope. Thankfully, things like this whip are so useful. Like, I am in love with the whip as a weapon. That thing is just a beast. I mean, it does mean that your combo score is pretty low, but I will happily take that. Now, if you are going after the Master Stomper bottle cap, you've got to make sure that you get all of the spaces in the Kaku Rhaegars, as well as everything in the levels. So I can tell you now that I'm not going to get that bottle cap at all. If anything, for me, at present, it is a wasted endeavour, because of reasons that I can't tell you about right now, because I've got to leave that until we've actually finished the game. But needless to say, getting Master Stomper bottle cap is only worthwhile if you are gunning for 100% completion. Otherwise, it's just a rather long and tedious hunt for hammer spots, which you may not necessarily want to do. I probably will someday, because having played so much of the Wonderful 101 as I have, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to try and 100% complete it one day, as difficult as that is going to be. Because even though I'm perfectly fine on normal, the game gets a lot harder on higher difficulties. Now, I believe, if you fail that QuickTime event, nothing actually really happens. It's odd. There are some QuickTime events that if you fail them, you'll take damage and the thing will reset. Others, you won't take any damage at all and you'll just get a kind of quick flick from that and back into the quick time event, and other times you'll get a game over. It's really odd. Either way, hello Immorta.
Galactic Federation Police Special Weapons Tactics and Investigation Team Sector S45-1219. You have our thanks. Again.
Funny. I thought someone wanted me to get out of his face because he didn't need my help. I still don't think you're going to make it through this alone. Maybe you need another hand. Officially.
Come again?
Say what?
I'm talking about joining forces. I ruined my beloved Dakar saving your team. Making sure you don't ruin anything else is in everyone's best interest.
What?
Dude, just call your planetary intergalactic whatever and have them send you a ride. Don't let the door hit you on your way out.
Look, I would have called long before now. If only it were possible. I'm the last surviving member of the Galactic Federation Police.
What?
Nice try. So what's the play? You infiltrate our ranks, learn our secrets?
Don't you have a single neuron in that empty head? Why would a spy save your lives 4 times?
How should I know? Look, let me make this simple. I don't want to see your masked mug here ever again. If you aren't gone before I count to 3, you can have a chat with my Valiantium blade. 1.
Blue, wait. I think you are overreacting.
To say such things is not very sharp, no?
2. What's it gonna be, space cop? Valiantium or Scramiantium? Typical alien. Let's get out of here. You can pay me back later.
Blue.
Yeah, seriously, Blue? Not cool, dude. Not cool in the slightest. So, to reach our next mission, we've got to climb our way back. Even though I evidently fell off there, as you could tell by the nice little crossfade, this isn't really that difficult to get through. The most annoying bit happens kind of after you've crossed this bit, because you've got to go down and then back up, and on the going up bit, you're over a pit of lava, and if you fall into that, then you end up being sent back all the way to the beginning. Which is really stupid. I don't quite know why they decided to make you go all the way back over there when they could have just left you on that bit of land there, but hey-ho. Just make sure that you try and kill the enemies as you kind of climb up, because if they hit you and you fall down, then you are going to have to do that entire segment all over again, which, needless to say, is a little bit tedious. You guys weren't here when I was here last, but where the heck did you come from? Oh well, now, you can go into the next mission now, but don't. Run across this fallen pillar, and you'll get a secret mission, which is actually really quite fun. Also, there is a wonderful one hidden here, and that is Wonder Lunch. There's a ridiculous amount of claws in this operation. So the really, really easy way of getting through this entire mission is by tricking your Dodogoos onto the platform, and then they get massively damaged, and it's beautiful. Obviously, the mission is slightly difficult because you've got so many of them, but as long as you kind of make use of these kind of pads and the spikes that they produce, you're gonna do well. Because thankfully they all decide that kind of clubbing together is an excellent plan. I don't quite know what drives them to that, because it's just like, guys, seriously? clubbing together in this sort of situation is a bad move. You've got the team of 100 heroes who are evidently using this tactic to defeat you, and you just kind of blindly run into them. Then again, I guess they are merely robots, so they aren't quite going to follow that kind of logic. And I have to say, the moment when those guys get, well, partially invulnerable is really irritating. It's like, guys, really, don't do it, please. I just want to kill you now, that would be nice. Either way, make sure you do get that secret mission, because it's a really easy one to miss. And obviously it's quite fun and easy. So, having put that statue in his rightful place, it looks like we've got a new enemy, although he's not really that new. He's just a bigger version of an enemy that we've already faced. As you probably guessed, this is a 2-meek. So the other ones were tiny 2-meeks, and this is the big, proper version. Which certainly has a lot more in common with the Golem and Yami of... well, Golem of Bayonetta and Yami of Okami. Because it's bloody huge and takes a lot more time to take down, because there's a lot more of it. Now, this entire section is really heavily reminding me of the 5th chapter of Bayonetta, the... oh god, what was it called? It was the Valley. It was definitely Chapter 5. Which makes it then quite funny that kind of, in both Bayonetta and the Wonderful 101, Chapter 5, or Operation 5, is the moment where the levels start to get really, really, really long. And where there are moments of real tedium, because the level is so long, and that's what makes them difficult. Obviously, I would say that Chapter 5 of Bayonetta is harder than this is, because you can't... if you want a good grade, you can't heal yourself, and healing items are so rare. Whereas they are very, very plentiful here. And so it's really easy to get through in general, despite the overall difficulty of the level. Just having that access to health pickups and healing yourself is an absolute godsend when you have levels that are this long. Thankfully, after Operation 6, we are going to go into the slightly more unique chapters of the game, and by unique I mean that they are partially short. Well, they are shorter in general. Some of them are quite long, others not so much. But they get very, very unique as we get towards the end of the game, which is pretty awesome. But take that, Meek. And we will head on and finish off the level. Because, annoyingly, this running segment counts as part of the level. They like to do this to you. Thankfully, it's really easy to get through without dying. But that basically brings us to the end of the operation. We just have a cutscene or so to go. Yay!
Coordinates confirmed. The super reactor is beyond this gate. No doubt about it.
So let's try and open it up. I mean, it makes sense to do so. It's not like we can go anywhere else. Let's whip that sword out and... oh, that's odd.
Huh? It will not open.
We don't have time for this.
Crack the codes, P. That's what what you're here for, right?
Hey, sweetie, you've got about 5 seconds. Out of my way.
What?
Luca?
Yo, kid, this is serious business. Just stay back.
Luca, what did you just do? Where did you get that pendant? Hands off! It's mine!
Luca, where in the world did you get that? Hondoretto-san, time is short. Team, take refuge inside.
Roger!
And so, Operation 005B is complete. I'll happily take that gold. It took it out of me, this level, as did 005A before it. Thankfully, we've got a really unique boss fight coming up in Operation 005C. So, that is going to be fun. Also, we're finally getting the treasure sensor. Finally. Should have done that far sooner. But, oh well, it's what's done is done. And we can continue and not miss nearly as many things. But with 69 wonderful ones, it's time to head on in to Operation 005C and our really unique boss fight.
Unite camp.